What's up, fellas? I'm here with Grant Zamien, going to be a junior next year for us, 157 weight class. I'm going to take you through the warm-up that we go through every day before we get into the weight room here at UWL. So first thing we're going to do is side shuffle, down back. So right here we want his toes to be facing forward, just nice and easy side shuffle, down and back. Karaoke. So karaoke, we're looking for a lot of movement at the hips. Okay, we're looking through a lot of movement to the torso here, all right? Don't have to be super fast. Not looking for high knees, just a lot of movement at the hips. Loosen up the back. Next we go skipping arm circles, switching halfway. So looking for a lot of reps, big arm circles, trying to loosen up those pecs, loosen up your shoulders a little bit. Back pedal coming back, yep. All right, now we're gonna go leg cradle halfway, knee hugged RDL halfway. So on this one, he's thinking big chest, getting a good grab. Should feel a nice stretch on the outside of his glute. So now we're going into a knee hug, into an RDL. Poor demo there. Come on, Grant, figure it out, man. There it is. So pulling that knee up, so you get a nice little hamstring stretch. Then you're going into an inverted hamstring, trying to lengthen out the body as long as you can. Good. Do one more. Coming back, we're gonna go open hip skip.
Open hip circles?
Open hip skip. So, no, open hip skip, this one right here.
Back.
Yep. So on this one right here, he's trying to work his leg up and then out. Working up and then out. Coming back into a hurdle walk. Left leg halfway, right leg halfway. So big chest here, stepping up and over the hurdle. Good. Coming back, we're gonna go world's greatest. So here we're gonna hit all three stretches. You're gonna lunge out, go elbow to instep, get a hamstring stretch next, then sit up tall right into a hip flexor stretch. While we're doing our hip flexor stretch, we want to make sure we're squeezing our back butt cheek. Okay, squeezing our back butt cheek, getting our quad and hip flexor to release up front. You can really take your time with this one. Make sure you're getting a good stretch at each spot. Coach Cook, how you doing? Good. Probably go about one more. Coming back, we're gonna go butt kicks halfway, straight leg walk halfway. So butt kicks, trying to get a lot of reps. Straight leg walk, yep. Good. Coming back, we're gonna jog to a stretch. Jog to a hamstring stretch. He's gonna look up and down twice, and side to side twice. Just trying to get a good stretch of the hamstring, loosen up the neck a little bit. You go 2 reps each leg. You can jog a little faster than that, Grant. Good. Once you're done here, you can go right into pigeon stretch, 15 seconds aside. So here on pigeon, we're trying to get that shin angle up to 90 degrees. If you can't get to 90, 45 is good. Should be feel a big stretch, maybe your low back, but also back here, outside of your butt. Is that where you're feeling it, Grant?
Yeah.
Good. Kind of hang out in this position about 10 to 15 seconds each side. Good. All right, you can put your band on. So that was kind of our dynamic warm up. Now we're going to go into the ground-based warm up, which is a lot of muscle activation type exercises, then also some mobility work. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna go 12 double leg glute bridge, 8 single leg. So on our glute bridges here, we wanna make sure our core is tight. Right now, Grant's fighting his knees out against the band, okay? Creating a lot of tension in the glutes. Once he's done with his 12 reps there, we're gonna go into 8 reps on a single leg. Single leg glute bridge, same concept. He's fighting his knees out against the band, driving up through the hips, keeping his core tight. It's super important during this one that we're driving everything up through our butt. Don't want to activate the low back a ton here, driving everything up through the glutes. Once you're done with 8 reps there, we're going to sideline external rotation.
On these?
Yep. So on these, we want his heels to be right underneath. You can keep going. I'm just going to talk to it. So his heels are right underneath his butt, okay? Super important that we're using the outside of our butt, our glute med, to move the band instead of our TFL, okay? What happens a lot of times is kids will use their TFL, the side of their hip, instead of the outside of their butt cheek to move the band. That can kind of cause a lot of problems on the hip area and actually lead to some knee pain. So super important that we're using our glute med on the outside of our butt to move the band. Nice and controlled, getting a good squeeze. Once done there, we're gonna go right into sideline. Yep, hip abduction. So here, Grant's ankles, hips, and shoulders are all in a straight line. Once again, he's feeling that he's moving the band with the outside of his hip there. Good. If you're doing these right, by this point in the warm-up, your glutes should have a pretty good burn going. Once you're done there, Grant, you can take off your band. We'll go bottom leg raise for 12. So this one's called bottom leg raise. He's gonna keep this leg straight, bend over his top one. All he's doing is he's squeezing his adductor muscles here, also known as your groin, to move his leg up. Just looking for some activation of the adductors here. Going for 12 reps. You can go a little bit faster. Good. Once you're done here, you're gonna stay in that position. We're gonna go right into arm sweeps, 5 each side. Good. So on his arm sweeps, we want you to try and keep this knee down. Okay, so I want you to grab your hand, yep. You're gonna hold that knee down. We're rotating around. The goal is to try and get this shoulder blade all the way to the ground. That's pretty good mobility here by Grant. We're gonna go 5 reps each side. Should feel a nice stretch through the upper pecs, maybe a little bit in the back with some good rotation in there. You go just 5 reps each side. Good. Once you're done with your arm sweeps here, we're gonna go right into pelvic tilts for 8. So on his pelvic tilts, his knees are gonna be up. He's gonna brace his core. So he's gonna flex his ab muscles here, driving his low back into the ground. I shouldn't be able to get my hand in there, good. So going 8 reps of that. Just teaching you guys how to brace properly. Super important we know how to brace, because a lot of our main lifts, bench, squat, we want you guys to keep that core tight. Okay, now you're gonna go right into T-spine flexion and extension for 6. So T-spine flexion extension, also known as cat-cow. As he rounds his upper back, he's gonna tuck his chin to his chest, And as he comes back down, he's gonna look forward, okay? So feel a nice stretch through the upper back, shoulders. The whole goal of this warm-up is to just get you guys moving, try and balance out the body the best we can before you guys get into your lift. Once you're done there, Grant, you're gonna go right into T-spine rotation. Good. So on T-spine rotation here, you're reaching up for the sky. You're following your hand with your eyes the whole time. Just get a nice little pec stretch at the top, and at the bottom should feel a little bit in the lat and shoulder. Good.
How many?
You're gonna go 8 each side. Good. Being able to move properly through your thoracic spine is super important for injury prevention. Once you're done here, Grant, you're gonna go right into hip circles, 6 forward, 6 back. Good. So on our hip circles here, super important. Grant's doing a good job. We're trying to keep our hips level here. They're nice and even. We don't want you guys hiking one hip up super high. Just trying to get some movement through the hip socket. Next up, we got quadruped rocking. You're gonna go 5 with your toes tucked, 5 with your toes flat. So on this one, our feet are just outside our hips. See Grant sitting back and just keep going. Yep. The goal here, when our heels are up, we're trying to keep these things pointing the sky. We don't want them caving in. Good. So he's gonna go 5 with his toes up, 5 with his toes flat. Good. Once you're done here, Grant, you're gonna go right into leg swings, 5 each side. So arms are out, swinging that leg up there, trying to touch the opposite hand. Should feel a nice little stretch in the low back. Just working on some low back rotation here. We try and do all of our kind of activation and mobility work before we get into the weight room. So once you guys get in there, you're able to just get after it and don't have to worry about stretching or doing mobility in between sets. Good. Once you're done with your leg swings, we're gonna go right into knee drops, 20 total, 10 each side. So he's gonna sit up, feet are just outside our hips, just trying to drop that knee all the way to the ground. Good. Working on internal rotation of the hips here.
How many is that?
You're gonna go 20 total, 10 each side. All right, last 2 coming up. Next, you're gonna go trunk extension for 3, okay? So here on the trunk extension, also known as a cobra, for all you yoga people out there, just stretching up, trying to get a good stretch through his abdomen. You can do a couple twists if you want. Go about 3 reps of that. Good. And once you're done there, you're gonna go right into 3 hand walks. Good. On our hand walk, should feel a big hamstring stretch. Trying to keep our legs relatively straight, working up and back for 3 reps. Good. All right, I'm gonna have you do a calf lat pack too, and then we'll be done, Kev. Okay, all right, he's done with the ground-based warm-up now. So now we're heading into the weight room. He's gonna hit a calf stretch, a pec stretch, and a lat stretch, all for about 10 seconds before we get rolling. Whatever one you wanna do first. Stretching out the calves, super important. Can really help out with ankle mobility, help relieve some tension of the hamstrings and low back as well. What are you stretching here, guy? Pec? Huh?
Lat.
Lat? So for lat, I want you to go here.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah, so face me, good. Switch your hand up. Yeah, there you go. Good, so for our lat stretch here, we're trying to pull our bodies away so you feel a big stretch along the outside of our body. It's kind of about 10 seconds each side. Okay, next he's gonna go into pec stretch. He's gonna get his hand up at a 45-degree angle, leaning away from that pec. Good. Just feel a nice big stretch. Now when we're doing these stretches, it's super important remembering to breathe in and out through our stomach, okay? Good. All right, there you have it. There's the warm-up we go through every day before we get in the weight room. You guys are good to go.